Welcome to the, sorry.
Rotary.
Thank you. I forgot where I was. Thank you. No, the echo, there was an echo here, sorry. So welcome to the Rotary Club of Foster City. We are known as the club that, and our secret sauce is you guys, yeah, the friendship and the teamwork that you have. So welcome. And for the pledge, Paul Williams, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Happy to. Place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Paul. Jeff Brown for the thought of the day.
I have two quotes here that might provide some good advice for the future. One is, pessimists see difficulty in every opportunity, but optimists see opportunity in every difficulty. That's from Winston Churchill. And this is really important. There's three ways for ultimate success. Number one is to be kind. Number two is to be kind. And guess what number three is? It's to be kind. That's from Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. Jeff, if you don't mind, will you please give that note to Nick to incorporate it in the minutes? Thank you. And I welcome everybody on Zoom. I hope you can all hear me. Please keep yourself muted. Only there will be times when during participation time when I might ask one of you to make an announcement, but other than that, please make sure you're all muted, which you are. And next is, cell phones, if they are on, you will pay $25 to the club. You can't hear me? Hello?
Yes.
That's close. That seems too close. Is there a mic adjustment for this, Curtis? Okay. 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 So visiting Rotarians, do we have any? Welcome. Come again. Thank you. Come. Welcome. And anywhere else? Do we have guests? Patricia?
I have 3 guests. I'm actually going to be addressing them shortly, but I'd like to introduce you to Lily. She is the executive director for Palo Alto Commons and the Avant, and her husband, John. And my dear friend, Eleanor Laduza, who is the recipient of something today.
Yes. Welcome, Eleanor. Okay. And for birthdays, we have belated birthday from last week, Steve Rose, September 2nd. Happy birthday, Steve. Just 25 years old today? 39, okay. And Greg Cool, September 3rd. Happy birthday. Greg, would you like to share something about your big birthday?
About this birthday?
The big one, yes.
I made it.
You made it, yes.
It was a little trepidatious, but it has a 0 in it, so I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for wedding anniversary, we have both of them here today. Congratulations to Jeff and Phyllis Brown, 43 years married. So since both of you are here and after 43 years, Phyllis, what do you think is Jeff's favorite drink?
At the present time, it's a strawberry margarita.
Is that correct, Jeff?
Phyllis?
No, is that correct? Did she get it right?
Yeah, it's good as any.
And what do you think is Phyllis's favorite color to wear?
She likes spring pink.
Is that correct? Oh, see, good. You know each other after 43 years. So anyway, happy wedding anniversary and wish you many, many more. And next we have for September 9th, Steve and Michelle Droz, 27 years together. Congratulations. Would you like to share anything, Steve, about that wonderful day? 27 years back.
was a wonderful day. We went fast. I don't know. It's like.
Good. Okay. We don't have any Rotary anniversaries this week. How about good news? Anybody has good news to share? Oh, sorry. There is Cindy on that side.
Well, my good news is that I had a wonderful 3-week vacation. I spent the first 2 weeks with my sisters on a sister's road trip. We traveled from Virginia all the way up to Maine. We visited Acadia National Park. We went to a blueberry festival in Machias. We went to Salem and went through cemeteries, did a ghost tour, and we also then went to New Haven, Connecticut, and visited the Beinecke Rare Books Library, which is another very good thing. We traveled through Worcester, Massachusetts, and the reason that is important because that's where Curtis's son, Felix, just graduated. So we waved at Worcester as we went by, and then we went to Weir Farm, which is the national park, the only national park for the art. It's a famous artist, J.A. Weir, W-E-I-R, and he was our first American Impressionist, so that was very cool. Beautiful, beautiful landscaping, and that's what he painted. And then we went on to Longwood Gardens, which are in Pennsylvania. Then ended up back in Virginia. And then I spent a couple of days with my sisters just kind of recovering. And then I flew to New Orleans, and Sue Roja, our past district governor, picked me up at the airport. And she took me to Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and in a few minutes I'll share a little bit about that. But anyway, it was a great trip, and I just got back a couple of days ago. So that's my good news.
Thank you.
Nice to be back. I think I'll have to get another coffee.
And Cindy sent me a postcard, as she always does, from that trip with a lovely picture. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
I have good news too. Hopefully I haven't already told you this because I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be a great grandmother again.
All right.
And I'm not quite sure when she is due, but I'll let you know.
Wonderful. And on this side, Phyllis.
My workout.
Jack, for your workout, you get to donate $5 too.
2 weeks ago today, or tomorrow, the Foster City Village held our annual picnic at Blue Bay Park. And we were so happy to have Holly Patton helping with the grill. We had 63 people there, so that was a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs. And of course, Linda Grant, my right-hand woman at the back table, and John Grant was our director of the horse racing, so it was wonderful. So you will, the Foster City Rotary Club will get a small donation of thanks from the Foster City Village for helping us put on this great event. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I'll take my time.
Yes.
Stop.
It's with great pleasure that I announce that my youngest daughter, who lives in Denver, just received notice from PG&E regarding the burning down of her house in Paradise with everything in it. And she is about to receive $1.1 million.
Wow.
1/3 goes to the Warriors.
Wow. Okay. Anyone else? Jack. Jack, you can take it easy now.
Compared to that, I have some really insignificant good news. Most of you know I drive a stick shift Corvette, and when Mike and I went to my high school reunion a few years ago in Ohio, we tried to average over 90 miles an hour through the whole Midwest. And the whole trip, 5,000 miles, we got 28.0 miles per gallon because we used the economy mode. So I checked it, and over the last 2 years, because that's the last time I checked it, I'm getting 19.7. So in around town is much worse. So I have an economy mode, so I switched it to economy mode. And you can shift 1 to 4, as a sign comes up, says 1 to 4, so I now shift first gear to fourth gear, and I checked it last week, and I'm now getting 27.9 miles per gallon.
Wonderful. Any other good news?
Are you still going?
Okay. Jack, we're done. Thank you. Can you all hear me? Just raise your hand. Is this working? You can hear me? Yeah, good. Thank you. Next, we have Patricia Blair Maxwell. If you will please come up here. Teresa Pope is feeling under the weather after her vaccination. So Patricia Blair Maxwell is going to do this part.
Afternoon, everyone. So I'm here today partly as being Teresa. She's had her third booster yesterday and is feeling more than unwell. And it's my pleasure to be able to provide this award today. As you know, we've had 5 years of Health and Aging Education Day. And beside me, doing much of the work that I've done with my committee has been a young lady that's going to be presented today. And with her today is also her executive director, who, and I have to say that Palo Alto Commons and the Avant have been extraordinarily supportive to us and have invited people to their community to eat splendid lunches. And has encouraged many of the other senior professionals to support us also. So, and not only that, I have a couple of clients there, which I'm very happy that they're there. So today we're honoring, and I'd like both you, Lily, and Eleanor to come up here. And the employee of the month, although she's not our employee, but she's somebody's employee, is directed to Eleanor Lanuza, Senior Director of Sales and Marketing for the Avant and Palo Alto Commons, which is a WellQuest senior living community. Recognizing Eleanor for her innumerable hours and efforts generously given over the last 4 years to support the Rotary Health and Aging Education Day, she has persistently, and believe me, she truly has, encouraged people in the industry to support this special day as well. And she couldn't have done that without the actual support of Lily, her executive director. So really, I want to thank them both very, very much. And Eleanor, you're an amazing woman. This is just with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Jess, if you'd like to say a few words. Lily, would you like to say something about Eleanor? Something nice, hopefully?
Wow, I was being put on the spot. Well, first of all, thank you, all of you. Thank you, Patricia, for the opportunity for me and Eleanor can be in this event. And it's a great pleasure to meeting all of you here. And the second of all, thank you for the award. I mean, I truly want to say Eleanor is an amazing lady that who's not doing the job just because her position, but also that her beautiful heart to helping the community and the seniors and to really truly touch people's life. So thank you so much. And you truly well deserved the award. Thank you for the recognition.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you like to step here?
Yes, I guess. Okay.
Eleanor, come on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this recognition. It is highly, highly appreciated. On behalf of the Avant at Palo Alto Commons, we are just so honored to partner with the Foster City Rotary Club of Foster City
and through the Health and Aging Conference. We would like to continue to support you and partner with you in making a difference in the lives of our seniors and the community at large. Thank you so much, and God bless everyone.
That's it.
And the- Thank you so much.
Eleanor, thank you for your help. Yes, Patricia?
Sunshine report.
Yes, yes. Cindy Sims, will you please come up? Patricia, you are next after that. Would you like a mic there, Patricia? Would you like a mic there? You come up.
Stay over here. No, I just said that.
So a lot of our members know that when you visit a club, you often do a flag exchange. But some of your members may not know that. And so when I visited Governor Sue Rocon's club, I took our flag, the club that cooks, and they loved it. And then they gave me theirs. Now, if you notice, it's the Ocean Springs, Rotary Club of Ocean Springs, 1699. That's when that community, Ocean Springs, was founded. So here we are, Foster City, 1971. So almost 300 years older than we are. But a Rotary Club's a Rotary Club. It was really cool. The people were very nice. They have about 50 members. They have different projects going on. And one of their members is named T. McCovey. I think McCovey. What is the last name McCovey? Anybody ring a bell with McCovey? Baseball, as in.
Willie McCovey.
Yeah, Willie McCovey. He's Willie McCovey's nephew. And yeah, and so when he heard that I was from Foster City, he has lived in the Bay Area before, but back to where he grew up. And he said, Willie McCovey. And I'm like, Willie oh my gosh. So anyway, so that was a cool thing. So I've got his card. So I'm going to give this to Shiraz, and I just want you to know that PDG Sue said to tell you thank you very much for the cards that we sent. Remember we sent Pastor on cards, and there we sent her two, and she's got a big basket of cards from people. She really appreciated that. And she also said, when people ask how she's doing, because her husband passed away, when people ask how she's doing, she said to say, Cindy and I had a really good time together. Yeah, so she would love to hear from you if you know her, and we really did enjoy it. I want the last highlight. Ocean Springs is right on the Gulf. She said it's the only blue part of Mississippi. And so one day we took a ship over to Ship Island, which is a part of the Gulf Islands National Seashore, and spent the day over there. Unbelievable. Saw all these crabs just swimming in the water. It was spectacular. So if you get to Mississippi, head to the Gulf Islands.
Thanks, Cindy. Next for the Sunshine Report, Patricia Nutty.
I spoke with Allison Proctor last week, and she had a procedure to remove a tumor from the parathyroid gland, and all turned out well. So everything's well. She is recouping, and everything's fine. That's good news.
How about you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be seeing the wound clinic soon. 5 weeks.
Of this.
Okay, so with that, today we had a speaker who cannot make it. He has to go jury duty. So we are going to make the whole meeting a club assembly today. And that's why Linda has given you all pads and pen. So we will all be discussing because this is a hands-on, everybody's voice, everybody's thoughts need to be heard. Okay, so, okay. So before we begin, I actually just wanted to say thank you. And I've been doing this for a very short time. As president, started very, very nervous. I am a little better now. But I want to say thank you to everyone before we begin this assembly that becoming the president and being here, I know it's a lot of responsibility. Last minute, suddenly things just like fall apart like they did today. But then throughout all this, I think the silver lining is some of you members, who are always there to help out. And, only when you become the president, you see behind the scenes, all the strong pillars who are there in the club to help. Like Greg Cool every week prints me the certificates and brings over here. People are always here managing this. And just when I need help, somebody or the other always steps up. And you demonstrate service above self. And you inspire me when I feel like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? So I want to just, before we begin this, just do a shout out to all of you who demonstrate service above self. And I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you for helping me be the president.
Thank you for being president.
And with that, actually, in the line of service above self, I wanted to share this some time ago, actually, but I never did. But I haven't got permission from this person to share his story. But, I hope he doesn't mind. Larry, it's your story. So some years ago, we were at the club picnic and Larry looked exhausted. And I asked him, I said, what happened? And he said, I was at Napa and then I had to drive down at like 5 or 4 in the morning and he drove here. Then he said he did this, and he's been here the whole day. And I said, but you look exhausted. Why don't you go home? The rest of us will manage cleanup. He said, no, my team needs me. My guys need me. I cannot leave them and go. So it really stayed with me that, you look really totally exhausted. And he said, no, I cannot leave my team. I am here till the end, till they are there. I'm going to be here.
He was the only guy.
Well, that's the spirit we all aspire to. Anyway, so now coming down to serious business, and that is about the Crown Plaza and the dues. Some of you have heard discussions on that. And the meals, yes. So last month, we received an email that in August, they were going to raise the prices up to $30 a meal. And we've been going through discussions with them. And today I have a meeting with them after this. So if our dues are going to be raised regularly, they have different reasons about staff and the cost of meals. We know everything is going up. But today's club assembly, I wanted to take the time to hear from each and every one of you. We will change this into a table discussion. That is it okay for you? Would you like to continue to be at the Crown at $32 a meal? That's one option. Are there other places that you would like us to go instead? Like, Curtis had the same problem and it surfaced again. And during Curtis's time, we actually did meetings at the rec center. But then the problem with the rec center is Ed has to take all the flags, move it there, set up the speakers and everything again, right? So, and any other location that we look at, we have to consider, is there Wi-Fi? How is the sound system? Is there seating for everyone? So one discussion item is the cost. Are you okay with $32? Second is the location. What locations would you like? And would those locations that you think, would they have all these things that we are looking for, right? The third option is that, do we then do meetings outside of here, like once a week, maybe once a month, or maybe once in 2 months, we do something over Zoom. Like next week's meeting is over Zoom because our speaker is over Zoom. So would you like to do that on a regular basis? Last week, we switched it out and we did a Hawaiian picnic, which was actually really nice. I don't know if some of you saw pictures on Facebook. I would have liked more of you to be there because Jamie actually sported a Hawaiian grass skirt. And it really suited him. So anyway, so
I'm so sorry I missed it.
yeah, so that is one option. The other thing is that, do you want to go to, people have mentioned locations where other clubs meet, like Par 3 in San Mateo. And some people say, no, we don't want to leave Foster City. The other last point is that maybe we commit to certain number of lunches, which they have always wanted us to do. I'm not saying that this is what we will do. I want to hear from you. I'm throwing everything out there. So do we go to, and I know Cindy has always said there are many clubs which have a minimum commitment or they pay for all the lunches, right? So do we do, I'm not saying we pay for all the lunches, but I think every member pay for at least 12 lunches. And then whether you are on Zoom, you decide to come or not come, but at least that gives us a little bit of a buffer if everyone commits to at least 12 lunches in the year. Okay, so that's kind of like a compromise, 12 in a year. Yeah, so 1 a month. So those are all the discussion items for today. And if each, yes, Jamie?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just clarification.
Yes.
Right now, we don't have a minimum head count, correct? Here.
Right now, we don't.
Is that why they want to raise our rate? Because we're not giving them a minimum?
No, that is one of the things, but that's not the reason.
Okay.
The reason is, just staffing and food costs. And as I said, I finally managed to get a meeting with them. And hopefully I'll meet with them after the meeting today. But I want to hear from every one of you. Yes?
Shiraz, how many members are not buying 12 lunches in a year? I mean, the way I look at it, there's close to 52 weeks in a year.
Yes.
And start maybe 45 lunches. So 12 doesn't seem like.
We are having under 40 members every week. It's like 33 to 39. So definitely we are less than half. But so San Mateo Rotary Club has a buffet and they have a commitment of 40 people. They have a great buffet. And one of the thoughts was, do we go to Par 3 with them and we make a combined deal with them that there is that Rotary Club and our Rotary Club? And do you want to give us a better deal because we are coming to you together? Okay, so, and their price is around the same, but for a buffet, they are paying $30 for a buffet. 30 for a buffet. Yes?
I may have missed it. Are we going to continue having this Zoom style?
We will continue with Zoom. Yes.
Why?
Because there are people who are there. We have speakers over there. So hybrid is the way to go. Somebody is sick or you may be out of town and you want to still listen in. So that is, we will go.
Rotary survived quite well for.
Rick, we will have a separate Zoom discussion in this. Let's right now just stick to this. There is at the end, there is one more Zoom discussion specifically. So let's focus on the venue first, the cost, the minimum buying in of 12 lunches for a year. Let's do that discussion first. So then we can do that separately. Yes?
But that has an effect on the number of people that are here for the menu.
Right. Okay. And you can discuss that at your table. Yes, and then we'll come here. Yes, Patricia?
I just had an offer.
Yes, dear.
I've just had an offer from the executive director that we could have a free lunch at the Avant.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Palo Alto.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So, and the last one is maybe we can, okay, you'll forget all my questions then and all the points that I put here. The last one is that maybe we can just meet at the rec center or other place and then bring your own lunch. like we did last time. Bring your own lunch, then we don't have to worry about catering. You just come over there and listen to the speaker. So yes.
And then we rent the room, like pay $5 to come.
Yes, we will pay because yes, there is a minimum cost for even, so it will be $5. Thank you very much, to pay for the room rental. So with that, all your questions that you have, all of you can spend 7 minutes, discuss it at your table, make notes, and then one person can stand up and share that with the, yes. So top 3 options are the par 3 with the San Mateo Club in the San Mateo Rotary Club, continue with here, and then the third one is that we go to the rec center, right? But also there is the option that do you want to do some meetings here and some outside? We don't have to do all over here, right? So, yeah, have a discussion. And do you want to continue here, maybe to one Zoom or one offsite meeting, so then the costs are down because of that? Do you want to meet at the rec center, or are you open to meeting at par 3 with the San Mateo Rotary Club in that location? But always we have one outside and maybe we can manage the cost that way.
So are we Zoomers permitted to discuss amongst each other?
That's what I understood. Actually, there was in the chat.
Yes, all of you can have a discussion too. Chat, and then one of you can present it.
Why don't we just do it?
Yeah.
I don't see how the minimum number of lunches is going to help financially, but if in fact it does, that's an interesting proposal.
Well, I think that's a financial nightmare. It was brought up how the treasurer's going to keep track of 12 lunches for everybody.
No, I think she would just charge you the 12 lunches. So, but we used to have a minimum of
Right.
45 lunches, and then they just recently changed that. But
So,
you know,
I think for another $2 that we should stay at the Crown.
yeah, Mark, do we know what the bottom line is for the Crown? In other words,
I haven't been part of this discussion, this last round of discussion, but I know that it had been like $1. We would charge them $1 more, and I think Shiraz is looking at paying them. I think she said something like 29 something a lunch, and so she's really not putting our fee over above the lunch much. And that's really to cover like guests of the club and, you know, guest speakers, because we got to pay for their lunch, you know, out of somewhere.
well, the proposal to,
Hey guys, so the Crown charges us 28 now, and we charge the club members 30. And the Crown is going to go up to 30, so we get, that's why we have to go up to
32.
And Mark is correct. We have to cover the guest speakers lunch and, you know, the any guests of the club, that type of thing.
okay, the idea of holding like one Zoom meeting a month, is that acceptable to the Crown? In other words, don't we need to continue to, they've always kind of dug their heels in that we need to be there every week with.
I don't think that's a factor anymore, Craig,
Yeah.
from what, you know, and Curtis is on the board, so if he's listening, he could chime in. But my understanding is like we can meet there when we want. There's and when I looked into it, is like, you know, if we want to be dark any particular week, we could be dark, and it's, they don't get that ticked off.
Wow.
I think way back in the past, a lot of, they were like packed, so like we would lose our place. But in the last 5-6 years, even going back to, I know when Cindy was president, you know, we didn't have any limitations on how often we wanted to be dark.
So
Hey, Mark, I have a question. If we went to the par 3,
They have great food. My question is, she's saying join in with San Mateo Rotary. Believe they meet on Thursdays. Does that mean we change we're gonna meet with the club, or can we go there on Wednesday and on their deal?
I didn't really understand that. At one point, you're right. She said that we would be joining San Mateo. It sounded like that.
Yeah.
But I think she meant join San Mateo by going to par 3. I don't know if I want to sit in a meeting with the San Mateo Rotary, because
No,
then it would
we're
be
on a
like,
different day.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think that it would make any sense to have a joint meeting, an occasional,
I think,
once a year, it's fine, but not every week,
no,
definitely.
I think what
Yeah,
she
that's what
was
I'm
saying is that we could negotiate a rate at par 3 with them, so a combined negotiating power, but I don't think she was saying we would meet
I
together.
understood the same. I
good.
understood the same, that if we give part 3 a minimum of 40, the way the San Mateo Lunch Club does it,
Okay,
then we.
thanks for the clarification, because that was kind of weird. But I vote for part 3. I think it's great for change.
I think part 3 is too far away.
it's not that.
Where is part
It's
3?
not that. It's at Coyote Point.
It's at the golf course.
So it's about, I could probably throw a baseball from my office to there, so it's great for me. But other than that, it's not that far away. And actually, Ed could keep all this stuff here, so he wouldn't have to lug it from his house every week.
Well, I'm coming from Mountain View, and I'm more likely to go to part 3 than Crown Plaza.
Yeah, it's right off the freeway, but it'd be longer than Crown Plaza for anybody who's in Foster City.
There's another possibility, which I've seen work very well in the past, is you rent a room and then you get a grocery store to bring in sandwiches.
A lot of clubs do that. Pacifica does something similar. They have a place just bring in some like, rough meals, and then people eat that, or yeah.
There's a little bit of work to set it up, but would be a tremendous saving on the cost.
So where would the room be? That's a question.
Guess you could do it at the rec center.
There maybe a church would rent us a room.
I know the Boy Scouts, Troop 175 rents a room from the Peninsula Church on, I think it's on Shell, and they charge like a minimal cost.
You mean the Central Peninsula Church?
Yeah, that's it.
From the Mormon Church?
Right. So that's an option.
Maybe we could do a combination, maybe one meeting a month at the Crown, one meeting a month at the rec center, where we bring your own lunch. One week, we have a social.
Yeah, some clubs have been doing things like that. Some clubs go to like 2 meetings a month at their normal spot, 1 meeting a month like at a breakfast spot, and 1 meeting a month in the evening. That's kind of been a fashionable trend. And we could do like 2 meetings at the Crown and 2 meetings, bring your own or something like that.
That gets fairly complicated. I mean, right now we send out announcements so people can remember to come on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think if you did 1st and 3rd at the Crown, 2nd and 4th at the at like say the rec center, and then right now when in the months where there's 5 Wednesdays, well, I guess Shiraz has changed it, but for a while we were doing months with 5 Wednesdays, we went to the social, and that would be like 4 times a year we would do the social.
But for an extra $2,
Hi,
you don't
Kevin.
want to move from the Crown?
That's really the issue.
I mean, I haven't been attending.
I went in, I
since
was
the
on a Zoom
pandemic,
meeting,
but,
so I got sidetracked.
I think that for $2, if the whole issue is $2, inflation has impacted everything. I mean, look at your water sewer bill, and what is it, $2?
Yeah. Well, the meals have not been that good. So, for my thinking, if it's another $2 for the current meals, not good.
one.
I don't know how other people feel about the food, but it seems to me like the real price is maybe another $5 to get to decent meals.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I'm going to start going again, but I can't attest to what the meals are.
Well, Jody's in San Mateo and she's complaining that for $30, they don't get a sit down. They have to go through the buffet.
Well, we're definitely going to have some Zoom
I'm
meetings
here to see
because
if
of
I can hear better, but I can't hear the Zoom very well. They're chatting amongst themselves. Well, I took a few minutes.
No, it seems to me that doing this at the church and bringing in sandwiches would be a good way to go.
At least we would stay in Foster City for the whole thing, which I think is significant for the Foster City Club.
Yeah,
I agree
certainly
with
want to
that.
stay close
I
to Source
agree.
City.
Yeah, I agree. We should be in Foster City.
So Jim, you were talking about bringing in catering stuff, not necessarily having to bring in your own bag lunch then.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Keep it on Zoom.
you get a pile of sandwiches from Safeway or Sunset Place. People that pick them up when they come in.
Read them out.
We can go for that. And Mark, I like the idea of maybe every 5th month, every 5th Wednesday, maybe that's a social. The socials are fun. Socials are enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have enough hosts.
I think that's the problem, is getting hosts, but we could do some outdoors like we did last week.
Stay on topic, and with this, I think many of the tables have got good points. So let's begin with Cindy's table. Would somebody like to come here? And it would be good if you also say, when you come up with your ideas, excuse me, can we have attention, please? When you come up with your ideas over here, then also say that, maybe 50% of the members liked it on my table, or maybe 2 people were against it. So we get a better sense of what each table, how many members are bought into that idea of yours. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shiraz. So my table is Jeff and Phyllis Brown of 43 years, and Patricia Nutty, Betty Taguchi, and Phyllis Harrison and myself. We were 6-0 to stay here. Here's our reasons why: to stay here four times, every week, every month. To keep switching is we have found very confusing. $8 a month increase isn't enough to change our minds. The service is great. The parking is great. The fellowship is really good here. It's a quiet place. It's easier to build better relationships in person when you're here. We wanted to be sure that the 2 options continued on, which there are. We have our parties here, sometimes a holiday party, the healthy aging. Regarding Zoomers, we felt very much that the Zoomers should have to buy 12 lunches a year. We like that idea. And that we feel like the Zoomers miss a lot when they're not here from a camaraderie standpoint. It's really hard to grow that fellowship if you're always on Zoom. Those of us who have Zoomed in know that Zoomers sometimes can't hear what's going on, or they can't see necessarily what's going on. We did discuss a possibility, if we needed another venue, of BJ's, but we felt like there's no good sound quality. They don't have a hot spot. We'd have to rotate among 4 items. Once a month we'd have pizza. Once a month we'd have meatballs. So we said the Crown Plaza would be our better choice. We also supported the idea of $5 per meeting for Zoomers.
For what?
For Zoomers. So when the Zoomers, since they're not here, they're not participating in the $32 a week, that they would instead have to pay $5 a week.
So $12 in this camp plus 5.
12 meals a year plus $5 a week.
And there was a circulation talked about of making that 5, making it $10.
We briefly talked about that, but we went back to 5. I mean, I don't know that we got that deep into that, but we'll turn the mic over to the next table.
Yes.
It sounds like Zoomers need to subsidize having lunch.
You can tell the school teachers, she took notes. Of course, I didn't know I was speaking until just now. My table is made up of those people over there at my table. And I guess I'm going to speak in generalities. Rel was basically against everything. We didn't have an issue with the price raise so much as we just thought, okay, a price raise, $2 isn't going to keep me from coming to the meeting, but we have to put some kind of cap on it because if they're going to raise it every quarter, you know, that's $8 at the end of the year, and then maybe people will start having issues with that. It was difficult to keep my table from talking about Zoom, so I'm just going to touch on that. We did feel that Zooming was kind of deteriorating our meetings because there's room in the back for 2 more tables. And I come to Rotary, now I'm speaking for myself, I come to Rotary to see those people. And when it's on Zoom, I feel like it's disjointed. I don't have any interaction with them. Sometimes I can hear them over talking. I know they can't hear us sometimes, so they do talk. The 2 meetings get convoluted. It's like there's 2 separate things going on. So we felt that our meetings here in person are being, let's call it diluted by Zoom. And we didn't feel like, you know, times have kind of moved on now. We can move on from Zoom. Rel, on the other hand, said he really wants Zoom because he can't make it all the time. He likes it. So, you know, a point for Zoom. But the majority of our table said we'd like the meetings to kind of go back where they were with people in there, because that's when you're talking to people, that's when projects start to spawn, and that's when you get things done, is when people are in the room. And that's, you know, I don't know if you feel like I feel like we've just been slipping on major projects over the past years. Even our playground project has slipped away a little bit because we can't get there. But other projects, I suspect, are the same. So I'm rambling. Who's next? Larry. Well, neither was I, Larry, so get your butt up here.
Yes, you were, you just didn't know it. You wanted to be anyhow.
Yeah. You were needed on the cooking crew. When did you come under that guy?
I know. We agree with everything else. No, we actually came up with a lot of ideas, everything from DoorDash and everybody pre-order a DoorDash to a location. We talked about the Zoomers. We're not as against the Zoomers as that old table.
Rick doesn't like anything.
Well, that's true. And I'm glad Sharaj shut him up earlier. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm all for the charge of the minimum amount of lunches. And we talked about some clubs doing, you know, prepaying for 40 lunches in a year, and maybe even getting a discount on that. So maybe you do 40 lunches for $30 as a 32 each. So if I don't use my lunch, I lose it, and that just stays with the club. So we talked about that. We talked about BJ's. We talked about the seafood warehouse, you know, and we've talked about IHOP in the past. I agree that out of all the situations, really, this does offer the most opportunities, both with the location, the parking. Although I would be, and we didn't really talk about the cost, but I think an upgrade in the food is well overdue. I mean, my chicken today was barely tolerable, and you know, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth $30. It wasn't worth $20, to be honest with you. So I think that a lot of this discussion wouldn't have, and this is not what we discussed about, but a lot of this discussion wouldn't happen if we had a lot better food.
Maybe.
All in favor?
Yeah.
I think this is a democracy.
For a vote?
I don't know if I should be up here or not, but I will. We have an awesome table. I think we've got a table that's really dynamic and flexible and fabulous. just so you know, we talked about a lot of things, and we believe that we should have various options throughout the month, throughout the year, and change it up, because if our club wants to grow, we need to attract people from other vocations as well as ages and all of that. So that's really what we were looking at. One idea that we had was consistently, say, the first meeting of the month be a Zoom meeting, second meeting of the month, go to the rec center, have a sack lunch. It would be consistent, so you're not going, oh my God, where am I? Well, we're all like rats. We show up here and when we were supposed to be at the Hilton. I was one of those. I remember when we switched there for, because we were booked here. Maybe the third one, the Crown Plaza, maybe put the Crown Plaza twice in the month. And then we have 4 Wednesdays every year. So maybe look at going to someone's home, the 5th Wednesday of the month, and go to someone's home and have either a potluck or pay a nominal fee like we have in the past. It's been lovely at the Grants and a few other places that we've gone. Our table's okay with $32. We do believe that Zoomers should pay something, because many of our members don't realize, if you haven't been president, part of your $32 actually pays for our guests. Okay, and we had maybe 3 guests today, Patricia. So with that, an extra $2 in there, it goes into our operations fund to pay for those extra meals and for us to be the host of those folks. So looking at that, a couple other things was no shame and no judgment on those of us that don't come because of work or whatever other types of things we have, vacations, off and away, that kind of thing. And also there's a lot of good training out there for Zoom. So I would challenge us to take some of those trainings. We've got a couple people within our district leadership team that are excellent and could help us even do better than we are. So thank you.
Mary, have you notes, please?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I didn't want to throw it.
Go ahead, throw it at me.
Go behind the podium for the Zoomers.
Oh, we got it.
Right there, right there.
Okay, pretty much at our table, the consensus was we stay here. $32 is fine. We would like to see the buffet come back. The buffets seem to be a better grade of food. We also agreed we can move the meeting around maybe once a month or twice a month. The weather's nice, we can go back to the amphitheater. We can go to the rec center, we can go to a park. Just something to break up the monotony of being inside. Potential spots are, the warehouse that was already mentioned. From what Curtis said, they have a meeting room. It's not very big, but but you can order pre-cooked food. You don't have to actually sit there and cook it. Going from different places, it can cause confusion with guests at some points because we're moving around constantly. So I think maybe once or twice a month, a different place. But pretty much the consensus is we stay here.
And improve the food.
And improve the food. And we also agree that Zoomers should pay some type of a fee. Curtis was a part.
Was going to speak over there. I was busy. I'm busy.
Zoomers, who would like to speak? Noemi, Mark, who's here? Craig? One of you can unmute yourself and present your notes.
I got most of it.
Yeah, one of the, Mark, are you going to go or no?
Doesn't matter, Craig, you can go.
Okay, yeah, one of the disadvantages of Zoom, and we fully realize it, is trying to come to consensus over Zoom is a little difficult. I think from some of the themes that we discussed, one of them, the majority, I believe, see real value in remaining in Foster City, whether it's the rec center, whether it's a Crown Plaza, whether it's another idea that was brought up was apparently the peninsula, Central Peninsula Church has facilities that they are willing to rent out. most of us, I think, believe that staying in Foster City does have real value, although we did discuss the idea of the golf course like San Mateo, the San Mateo Club. I don't think we object to Zoomers having to pay something. We understand the, the financial impact that Zoom has. There was a hybrid that was discussed, a hybrid where perhaps on a consistent basis to try and minimize the confusion about where we would be going on a weekly basis. For example, the first and third, we'd go to the Crown. The second and fourth, we'd go to the Rec Center or Central Peninsula Church. And perhaps that fifth Wednesday, when it does fall, we could host socials again. Getting people is challenging, but it's worked in the past. I think that generally speaking, and then there was a significant number of comments that $32 and joining, continuing at the Crown is probably the path of least resistance. But there was a comment from someone who has been attending meetings that the quality of the food has really slipped and really does need to improve for $32.
Very good points. That's it. So we have everyone's feedback. I thank all of you for actually doing very good discussions. And I'm just going to reiterate. And so just everybody, even Zoom, just raise your hand. So everyone is okay. Whoever's okay with $32 for lunches and staying. Yep. Zoom, we have, okay. With improved food, yes. Okay, you can put your hands down. So the thing is, I think, like, from what I know when I speak to San Mateo Rotary Club also, it's because when you give a minimum commitment, like they have a minimum commitment of 40, and then they are able to get and negotiate a better price, better meals. And so we are at 33, and that's what brings us then to the second part of it, is that every single member, doesn't matter if you attend 2 meetings, is committed to, and again, we can discuss this later, but minimum, I think 12 is like nothing, 1 a month. So if you don't come, it's not $12, it's 12 meals. Some people misunderstood that. You are all paying for 12 meals in a year. If you come here, awesome. You will be, using your 12 meals. If you don't come here, then that's the donation to the club. And that kind of will give us a little bit of room to negotiate and to have that buffer with the Crown. And maybe we could then look at the numbers again and see if we can then commit to a better number instead of just 33. Mary Lou, yes?
I think that when we're negotiating, we have to have a guarantee that it's going to last for a year.
No, we will have a written contract. What surprised me was that we never had a written contract with that. Never, I won't say never. We didn't have a written contract, at least the recent one that I'm aware of. We've always adjusted the price, my understanding, in December. And now the new management has said every 2 months they want to reevaluate it. So that is something that we are going to discuss. Yes, I agree. And that's why I want us to have a minimum commitment, and we have a cap on it, as all of you mentioned here, and we have a cap on the price, and we talk about the quality of food. But I think one main thing is, if we say we commit to so many people, it's easier for them to plan also. Yes, Rick? 63, I think, right now. 67.
67.
Yes.
And we got how many people here today?
39, was it today? 39 or 35?
30, 35 total.
35.
Plus 14 on Zoom.
I come up with the.
Okay, so again, raise of hands, please. Let's do that other discussions later on. So let's go through each point and come to a conclusion, or at least some of the points which will help me negotiate for all of us better, right? I want to understand where you all are. So minimum 12 meals, everybody pays for. Raise of hands again. Zoomers also, please. Okay. Zoomers. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I think we have almost everyone on Zoom too signing up for that. I appreciate that. Makes it easier for me. The next thing was, I am with you all when you say that changing to different venues is confusing, because I am one of those creature of habits. I will be at the wrong location for sure. I will be like, where is the president? I am at the wrong place. So, but so I prefer a proper plan. And if that plan means that once a month only, like maybe the last Wednesday, we go to a new place, that's maybe something that we can look at once a month, whatever, park or rec center, bring your own lunch, DoorDash, all of that, that's the last meeting of the month. All the creativity is there in that. No? Okay, I'm going to ask for the vote. Okay. We have a strong, what were you, female financial planner, the leader of that. I'm going to listen to you. Okay, so raise of hands on who wants to have a flex last Wednesday.
Rose, last Wednesday is confusing.
But what happens
Fourth,
if you have
okay, the
five?
fourth Wednesday as a flex. The fourth Wednesday as a flex, okay. And we have one mark where I can't see all the Zoomers. Okay. So not everyone, not a big buy-in for that. Okay, so let's not do that then. I was doing that, yes.
You already have socials in your calendar and
Yes.
dark days before that. We already have that on the calendar.
Okay. So if you heard Linda, she said we already have socials, which we do. I have got 4 socials planned, and we have some dark days because of that. I was mentioning that because I got some feedback from some people about costs, and they would like to have maybe that we pay less in the month. And is there, yes, what about, I think I got the general consensus of stay here. We've raised hands for that, so that's good. Okay, that covers that.
But we go for the cap on that. So we
Yes.
can't keep on changing it every month or every 2 months.
No, I agree. So they initially sent us an email that they wanted to change it in August. And I said, no, we cannot do that. We have been going back and forth via email that we need time, we need to inform our members. And traditionally it was done in December. And that's what we're going to do, is tell them we want it only adjusted in December. And that if there's a valid reason for it.
They're going to have to do a lot more.
Okay. Next, we have John Grant who wants to make an announcement before we go on. John, please.
Did you want to see what to support the $5?
Yes, I'm going to do that. John wants to make his announcement.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of meetings, on the 28th, we're going to have a candidates forum here. The 5 candidates for Foster City Council have told me verbally and mostly by email that they will be here, except for one of them. But anyway, so there's going to be 4 or 5 people here. Pam Frisella is going to run the forum as a former mayor and former council person, but we are also going to have you ask questions. Now, because of all this, next week meeting is by Zoom. So if you can fill out these things today, I'd appreciate it. The meeting after that is called off because we're having a social event. So we only have 2 meetings this month that you have to pay the $32 for. So keep that in mind. On your table are these cards. If you'll fill out questions for the candidates, I'd appreciate it. If you make the candidates, the questions for the candidates kind of general about Foster City, not about your neighbor's bay window or the fact that they're putting in sod or something like that, that will help us. There's no guarantee that your question will be asked to the candidates. We're going to take, if you'll write out the questions, if 5 people want to know about the geese, we're going to ask about the geese. If one person wants to know about the algae bloom, we're probably not going to ask them about that. So ask questions that all the candidates can answer. Right now, we're planning on asking all 5 candidates the same question and getting their answer from them. So if you'll please fill these out. We'll also be sending out an email asking you to send in questions by email because once again, we only have we have no meetings until the candidates forum, so.
Why is next week a Zoom meeting?
The speaker is by Zoom, and we decided to do that by Zoom because we have so much trouble with the speaker being by Zoom that the people in the room can't hear them. And we didn't want people paying $30 to sit and not be able to hear the speaker. Yes.
John, if we want to bring guests, but they're not potential members of the club, is it the same $30 or $32?
Yes, and it's the same thing we asked the candidates. I wrote to all the candidates and said that we will comp their lunch, but if they're bringing a guest, even their spouse, that the cost will be $30 and.
So $30 I can quote people right now.
Yes, $30 will be.
And then back on that Zoom meeting for next week, that's for sure. And then you said we're dark the week after that?
Yes, that.
Excuse me?
The calendar, we're dark the next week because on the Thursday following, on the 22nd, which is a Thursday, we're having a social event.
22nd.
22nd is Thursday, 21st is Wednesday, I believe.
Yes.
Any questions? Please fill these out and make them concise. And we're going to get together. Pam will look over the questions and put, if 5 people ask the same question, she's going to say 5 people asked this question about the geese, and we're going to ask that question. So she's not going to read 5 questions. She's not going to ask 5 questions of the same thing. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Okay, so going back to Zoom, and everyone is so passionate about it. So we will continue with Zoom, of course, because it's, it's there are reasons that some of you are over there, and I understand. Last year, just for history, Curtis had tried that we would charge $5 for each Zoom meeting. And we didn't have a way to actually regularly collect that money. Other clubs are collecting $10. I know when I tried San Francisco, and there are many other clubs, if you want to go sit in via Zoom, you pay upfront $10 before you can go in via Zoom. I am proposing that we only do $5 for our members who attend. And the reason being is I understand that sound quality is not always the best sometimes for you guys. You can't sometimes hear the speakers. And again, I will say, I agree with everyone over here who said that they would like to see all of you here. We love you all. So it's great to see you all here and actually listen to you and be able to chat with you. It does make a difference. But for whatever reasons that you have and you cannot come, it will be $5 per meeting. Diana has volunteered to maintain a spreadsheet where all your names, your attendance will be logged in. And then once a month, you will pay Debbie Williams for your monthly meetings on Zoom. So it's $5 initially, $5 per month for every meeting that you attend via Zoom. I apologize. $5 per meeting, and you will pay at the end of the month. I apologize. And I think I hope that makes everyone over here, everybody's on the same page with that. There's one more thing we have. I'll just do.
Shiraz, I need to make.
You make an, okay, come in.
Along with what Greg said, when we meet and there's 30 of us here and there's 14 on Zoom, one of the things that we've seen, Mary Lou can attest to this, is that we have trouble getting volunteers because we're diluted. I love that word. I need next week at Second Harvest Food Bank at least 2 to 3 more loaders. That means picking up the boxes and putting them in the cars. I'm very short on volunteers next week. And I need 2 other people to direct traffic, okay? You don't have to lift anything when you direct traffic, but you need to be able to stand for a couple of hours. I do realize that some of our members have health issues and they can't participate in Second Harvest Food Bank. I totally get that and I respect that. But there's a lot of members that I think can do it and I never see them. And so I need at least 2 more people to load cars and 2 more people to direct traffic. And if you'll just let me know at the end of the meeting or shoot me off an email, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay. So real quickly, I have this, but now we have very little time. My second topic for discussion was going to be the activities that we want to do during the year. And since we are short of time, I won't make it a table discussion, but you can just raise hands over here. How many of you would be interested in private movie showings? It's just $10, but we reserve the whole theater, nobody else but just Rotarians. And we pick up whatever movie we want to watch. It's going to be $10 a person. How many of you would be interested, and you think there's value in private movies? Zoomers, if you can see how many are raising hands over there on Zoom.
Where's the boomer?
Whichever movie, then I'll send it out to you with the latest movies in the theater.
Where?
Redwood City Movie Theater. Redwood City. Redwood City. Yeah? Okay. Okay. You can bring guests, yes, because it will be, yeah, you can put your hands up. So yeah, that's a yes. If the reservation is for about 30 people and the whole movie theater is ours. And then we pick a movie and we watch that. Okay. So that's good. I'll nominate somebody to where you can send the names of the movie that you want to watch, and then we see whichever is everybody loves the most rated movie, then we go book that and watch that. That's one. Again, quickly, because we are short on time. I wanted to do a trip to Napa, wine tasting, Sonoma again. So if you are interested, and if you are interested in doing a trip as a club, raise your hand to Napa and Sonoma.
Does it have to be Napa or Sonoma?
Any place. Okay, we'll do winery, Livermore. Okay, put your hands down. Okay, I got so that's my second question, is that who would be interested in Livermore winery? It's so hot. Livermore is insanely hot just now. I went to buy the wine for our club and I died over there on the.
But you don't have to do it right now.
Not right. Okay, yeah. It was just like, for me, it was a bit. I just did it for the club. But anyway. And how many people for Napa? Okay, so about the same. Okay.
Would it be by bus?
Yes, that's my next question. Thank you. Would you prefer a bus? The bus charges I'm looking at, before you raise your hands, is going to be around $50 a person. I made a lot of calls yesterday. So it is expensive for a whole chartered bus from morning, 8 hours. But those big luxury liners that you go from morning and then come back, they'll drop you back in Foster City. It's approximately, and we can make it better, but that's a rough price, $50 a person. If you fill it up with 50 people.
Yeah, and if you only have 30 people.
We cancel it then, we go try.
Also charge for this one.
Yes, this is just a bus. So do you want to go by bus or do you want to drive there?
How much is the white?
I don't know that as yet.
Maybe $100 a person to go on this event.
Yeah, yes. Would that be good? If it's under 100, we cap it at 100. Raise of hands, if it's under 100 to spend a day, everyone together at a vineyard. And I don't see hands on Zoom. Are you all no to it? Bob, Mike is a yes. Under 100, door to door, like from Foster City to a vineyard, cost of wine, everything, under $100. And they'll come and drop you back in the evening, whole day.
We're going to visit one vineyard or what?
I don't know that. This is very upper level discussion. If you're interested, we will put in the effort to do that. If you're not interested, I won't waste my time. That's simple. So, yeah. So, okay. And I have like a maybe on that one. And the last one. This is because I love all of you. Okay. And this one is because I watched a documentary on senior games. Maybe you guys already know about it. And I saw this documentary and saw 102-year-old woman was swimming and winning, but she's winning because she's the only one swimming in her age group. But she was fit, and there were all these 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds playing all kinds of games. And they are so fit. They started at 60. There's all kinds of things from walking, running, pickleball, badminton, all kinds of competitions. There's a Bay Area Senior Games group. So something to think about, that for longevity, for good health, and for good spirit, would you all be interested And maybe like we do a swimming competition or something, or go watch the senior games.
I think we should go back to the drinking game.
So now do I have more hands for wine? Do I have more hands for wine now?
Is there a drinking game?
Yes, Cindy?
Like goose strangling.
Well, Miss Cindy
Yeah.
speaking, yeah.
We do have different age groups, so I
Yes.
think if you want to think about it, it's just the senior games, because, you know, they're different.
It's different age groups, yes.
And in fact, those in the younger ages probably have a real advantage, they would win.
No, actually, what I watched is the older people love it more as you get older because there are fewer and fewer people you compete with.
That's my point.
So-
For our club.
Yes.
We might have 1 or 2 people that are younger.
Yes.
Let's table this for another day.
Yes, yes, okay. So that's it. I think that's all the discussion for today. And with that, I'm going to thank everybody who volunteered today. Mary Lou, our greeter. The pledge was Paul, who's left thought for the day, Jeff Brown. Thank you very much. Minute taker was, I don't know, Mark did it, and I had Nick over here with the minutes. Tech table, Rel and Curtis. Am I missing anybody else? Yeah, Larry as a treasurer and Sergeant at Arms Jack. Thank you for all the running around, and Ed. With that, we end the meeting. Next week is Zoom. Please remember that. Thank you.
He's better than that.
Too loud.
Otherwise,